Welcome back. This is the second half of a newspaper review. Of course, first half was talking to the government and executive. Of course, CAS is speaking about their mandates in their respective dockets. Now we move it to the political conversation. Let's see what we have as far as your front pages are concerned. Start off with the front page of the PD. Season of hope as vaccine lands, as you can see right there. 1.25 million Kenyans targeted in the first phase of COVID-19 vaccine rollout. You can get all the details of that particular story right then. As you can see, they're calling it the COVID fight beginning. President expected to officially launch jabs drive in Nairobi on Friday, even as it emerged that based on the tentative rollout plan, the earliest ordinary Kenyans could be vaccinated is July. This is on page 4 and 5 of your PD. You can get the details of that particular story right there. As you look at what's happening in Matters Health, also in the education docket, let's scroll up and see what you have right there. As officials meet over exams. Now, these exams are supposed to take place this month. CS Magoha, Matiangi and Mushero to chair meeting on final preparations for KCPE and KCSE tests. Quite an unprecedented way these exams will be done, of course, coming off what could have been a lost academic year, but they've managed to salvage that, put it together, and now trying to see how they can successfully roll out these national examinations. That story is on page 6 of your PD. In case you don't have a copy of your PD, you can get it straight to your phone. By the way, the number that you dial is star 550 star 4 hash. Let's see what you have on the front page of the Standard now. Raila wades into Kingi-Joho rivalry. Orange Party leader declares he is the sure bet to end region's problems and cautions that a coast-based political vehicle could leave area out of ongoing realignments ahead of 2022 polls. That story is on page 8 of your Standard. You can get the details of that particular story there. Health workers hesitant to take vaccines. This is a conversation that we even had earlier on the show this morning. Government assures jabs are safe and effective, even as KMPDU is reluctant to accept them, claiming they are still under research opinion. You can find that story as well in a copy of your Standard. Front page of the Daily Nation now. Politicians jump the line for COVID-19 jabs. Cabinet secretaries, permanent secretaries and politicians are top on the priority list for the vaccine against the deadly coronavirus, alongside health workers, security officers and teachers, raising questions of access for the most deserving Kenyans. This is on page 10 and 11 of your Daily Nation. You have the details of that right there. They're also talking about how Ruto lost Jubilee. This, of course, coming off the back of one of his key lieutenants being ousted out of the Deputy Secretary General position at the party. Where do they go from here? Is it all roads to UDA? That is something that the Daily Nation seeks to answer, and you can find that story on page 4. Front page of the Star now. CS Kagwe, Uhuru cabinet not in COVID jabs list. Governors want Kenyatta to be vaccinated first. So as you can see, again, dealing with the whole hesitancy in terms of who is going to be, on the front line getting this particular vaccine. And you can find that story on page 4 and 5 of your Star. Politically speaking as well, the new Deputy SG of Jubilee Party, Joshua Kutuni, says, I will not hesitate to endorse Ruto's removal. So is impeachment around the corner, or is this an empty threat? You can find the story on page 6 of your Star. And finally, we look at the front page of the Business Daily now. Kenya Power to roll out electric car charge hubs right across. Utility firm targets major highways, parking lots and malls with this technology. Of course, the uptake of electric vehicles within the country, they've seen that this is definitely a part that can also get in really early and get some revenue on that. And you can find this story as well in your copy of your Business Daily on page 4. So that's what you're waking up to this morning as far as your papers are concerned. But of course, front and center, we're reviewing the papers and looking at the political dynamics of the day right here on the show. This is catered for this morning. Welcome back. This is the second half of the show, joined by Gloria Oroba. She is a youth policy analyst. Very soon will be an aspirant for Bobasi constituency, member of parliament. Welcome to the show.
Asante sana, Jeff. Good morning.
Thanks for making time, Gloria.
Yes.
As always, even before you get to the politics of the day, COVID-19 jabs have landed in the country. Of course, there's lots of talk on who's going to be getting it. And more importantly, some people who don't want to get it. Personally, what's your feeling on this now that they're at the cold room in Kitengela?
I understand the fears of those who don't want to get the jab, because there have been isolated reports online in terms of, you know, a couple of people dying, and they're trying to claim that it was after they got the vaccine. So there is a sort of fear, because they are not really, people are not really sure of what kind of vaccine this is and what are the side effects of it. But what's interesting to see, especially on the, I think it's the Daily Nation, where they talk about the MPs and all these other, you know, constituencies of people who want to be first on the list for the vaccines. It's very interesting, because you would think that if we are going to address the issue of vaccine through the healthcare services, then the first people to receive that vaccine should be the frontline healthcare workers. And then maybe possibly from that we would consider those who are, you would say, have underlying disease, you know, the most vulnerable, the old, those who have asthma, you know, based on what this pandemic is actually. And then maybe we'd consider the politicians. But we are in Kenya, so I can imagine that there's even rumors that some of the elected leaders and senior appointed people have already received the vaccine from elsewhere. Mm-hmm. So it would be interesting to see how they roll it out. For me, I think I want to gain confidence in the vaccine by seeing which leaders are actually going to come front in terms of the medical practitioners and say, you know, and sensitize us about the side effects and things of the vaccine.
Okay.
Yes.
And of course, it is being rolled out and will be launched by the president on Friday this week. Mm-hmm. So from there, of course, a better picture of how it will actually roll out throughout the country and the counties as well. Some indications saying that ordinary Kenyans probably get it by July. One of the dailies leading with that, but we'll keep abreast of that particular story and bring it to you. Let's move it from matters health to matters politics. We saw a pretty interesting turn of events at Jubilee, Gloria. Now we have a new deputy SG in the name of Joshua Kutuni on that particular front. Mm-hmm. What, from your assessment, what's left of Jubilee? Because they've changed almost every person who was in senior leadership and brought in this new crop. What's left of the vehicle? I think
it was a matter of time. And by the way, Caleb Kositany had said it previously that he's just waiting to be fired. He actually was wondering why it's taking too long. Mm. I think the matter of Jubilee is really sad, because, you know, it was the first, I believe it was our first political party that you'd said had a national outfit. All the political parties that had been folded to form Jubilee and even signed a state guarantee to form a national party was basically an idea where we would move from tribal parties or regional parties, which now you're seeing we are slowly going back into. And it's a bit sad to see that this is how the cookie will crumble. In terms of if there's anything left at Jubilee, I believe there is. 50% of Jubilee is left. 50%, you know, the Tanga have left. Even if they're physically there or they're holding their positions in whatever aspect, even as members, I think they've left and they're really just waiting for a sort of opportune time politically for them to now completely jump ship and say, you know, I'm no longer in that party, I'm now fronting the ideologies of this new other party. Right. But in terms of 2022, you know, the sad fact about Jubilee wrangles is that we are definitely going back to tribal parties. And you can see the struggles that UDA is having just to get the buy-in of other regions. As much as it's supposed to be an affiliation of the Hustler Party, I'll tell you for a fact they're having struggles in terms of how do you make, for instance, the people in Kisii, where I come from, come on board and say, okay, this is a party that I want to be in. So unfortunately, if we're not careful on how we deal with the dynamics of Jubilee, you know, crumbling and going apart, you've seen the leaders in Mombasa saying that they want to form their regional party. Right. What's going to happen is that if that takes off, then you know, suddenly we're going to have all these tribal parties forming, because they've started to understand that as much as we want to have a national outfit in form of Jubilee, you know, there's a reference of ona sasa venye wanafanyiwa uko Jubilee. Why did they fold? You know, for instance, why did William Ruto fold URP? So I think I wouldn't say that I'm for the opinion that we go that way, but if the interests of the people will be served through these tribal and regional parties, then I mean, why not? We've seen that it's not working as a national outfit. Okay. Yeah. Let me bring in Frederick Okango as well, Third Way Alliance Secretary General. We have a very confident Kositany, even on his way out, and said that they are going now UDA, all you know, systems go on that particular front, and also dared them that if they really want to impeach
Deputy President William Ruto. They are ready. They can bring it on. They don't have the numbers. Do you think that was just political posturing? Because Kutuni, into the job, says he will not hesitate to endorse it. Can they carry out such an impeachment?
Three things, Jeff. Thank you so much. First of all, my good friend Caleb Kositany initially said that he will not bother challenge the Austin. But I saw in the paper yesterday, I think he's thinking of challenging. It is within his rights. And I think I would encourage him to challenge, because if he believes that he did well for Jubilee and they are mishandling him, he could challenge. But let me tell you something, Jeff. You know, the problem is in Jubilee, and particularly to those who are affiliated to what they call UNDA or UDA, is one, they have not read the provisions of the Political Parties Act that says that if you are registering another party, you cannot, Jeff, purport to recruit for other party, promote the activities of other party, or be involved in the activities of other party. They have done that by doing what? Appearing in their colors, donning their outfit, and propagating their agenda. Remember, UDA is not an affiliate of Jubilee. It is not. UDA is a new party that was registered after rebranding PDR, you know.
Which was part of the coalition.
Which was. I like the word, was. Now, number two, what you look at, people who are saying they will not hesitate to even do what? Impeach the deputy president. There's a lot of politics. And I would advise Kenyans today that let's focus on bringing what Kenyans want. The deputy president has got a way of dealing with his own issues in the party, and I'm sure the party will do that. But as a people, as a nation, I don't think we should be interested in who is going to be impeached, particularly now that Kenyans are suffering. We have just seen, we've been talking about the vaccine that is just coming. We're talking about how many Kenyans will be able to get the vaccine. We should not be able, I mean, we should not be talking about how many people are going to be impeached. But be that as it may, I understand that Jubilee has got differences. Every political party have got those differences, because politics is about competition. But it is unfortunate that a ruling party is undergoing such divisions caused by one person who has ambitions to be president, while Kenyans have ambitions to feed their children today, ambitions to ensure that they get jobs, ambition to ensure that they get security, and ambition to ensure they get education and healthcare. That is what we are addressing with using the constitutional amendment. It's not ambition of individuals. So I want to encourage the president to continue doing what he's doing. Kenyans are watching the next 16 months that he's having in office to secure a legacy. If that legacy is going to help people put food in their stomachs and money in their pockets, so be it. Then Gloria has also talked about regional political parties or tribal. It is unconstitutional. It is illegal. In fact, the principles of formation of political parties in Article 91 require that no party shall be formed on the basis of tribal, religion, or regional backgrounds. The political parties must be national. And therefore, every political party that is not national, I would encourage also the registered political parties to look at that, because we have seen political parties now coming with an idea that, we are headed to election, let's have a regional political party, like I've seen Mombasa. That is, I mean, what is that? That is against the provisions of law. Let's have national parties that are going to ensure that we respect the constitution, then that are going to ensure that all Kenyans are involved. If you don't want that, then go and sell mandazi.
Jeff, Gloria? I think it's unfair for anyone to say that the problems that this country is facing is because of one William Samoei Ruto. That's very, very unfair. If we're going to talk about pushing any agenda that's going to take Kenya to the next level, we were very much aligned with the Big Four agenda. We were very much aligned with what the president and his deputy had started until we had the handshake. So for you to come and say that all the problems that Jubilee is having, all the problems that this country is facing, including the pandemic or whatnot, all the political discourse that we have is caused by William Ruto. I think, first of all, that is empowering someone to a level as if he is God. These problems are not only caused by William Ruto, and when we are talking about a legacy, our president, Uhuru Kenyatta, if he's looking to be remembered for something, he needs to understand we have 16 months to the next election. We have 16 months until he exits the stage. Because whether he likes it or not, he has to exit the stage. Is he going to be remembered for trying to complete his Big Four agenda, or is he going to be remembered as the president who impeached his deputy? So at the end of the day, when we are looking, and if you want to shine the spotlight on William Ruto, let us ask ourselves why he is so passionately involved in trying to save the Jubilee Party as it is. Remember, he's the same. I always say this because people try to take that credit away from William Ruto. He is the person, he's the architect of Jubilee. He folded his own party, URP, to ensure that they had a national party. When Okango is talking about regional parties, they shouldn't be allowed this and that, let me remind him that as we speak now, all of our political parties, other than Jubilee, and possibly maybe KANU, when you're talking about ANC, that is a regional party. When you're talking about Wiper, that is a regional party. So if now the people from a certain region have seen that their interests are not being catered for in Jubilee or wherever, and they're saying, okay, it is time for us to now push forward our agenda, we want to form a political party with an ideology that we believe in, by all means, it is their political, right to do
I cannot allow Gloria to say what is not right on a national TV like K24.
Which is what point?
It is wrong to advise Kenyans to join regional and tribal parties. It is wrong. It is against the law. And we have a duty as Kenyans to protect the law, observe it, and defend it.
Okay, but Fred, I think what she's bringing out is a sense that even if we have national parties,
now let me tell you,
their base comes from Western.
Their base comes from somewhere, and their ideologies have been pushed by a regional front.
That is what we are fighting as young people. As young people, we have not tribe, we have no region. We are Kenyans. We believe in this country because we have got the advantage of age and time. And I want to encourage Gloria to do that in her politics. Number two, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, has not in any way said that he will impeach his deputy. He has never said that. And therefore, to be true to this country, the President has always called Kenyans to work together. No one has ever said that the President is planning to impeach the deputy president. None.
Okay, but let me just jump in there. Very one second.
No.
Fred,
you let me just...
What I'm wondering is because his vice chair in the party, David Murathe, has been very categorical on that. Clearly, is he speaking out of turn because it's his party leader?
Murathe, as the vice chair of Jubilee and a member of Jubilee NMC, I can't even speak for Murathe because I'm not even a member of that party. But as a secretary general of a party, I know how parties work. Parties work by structures, and those structures must be respected. And if any member of Jubilee has not respected any structure of Jubilee, they have a forum where they can discipline their members, they can subject them through internal dispute resolution mechanism. That must be done. They cannot subject them on a public court of opinion. So Murathe, when he speaks, probably speak for himself. But I want to defend the president. Why? Because the president, people have been saying that the problems of Jubilee started when the handshake. It is a lie. It's a lie and a propaganda by the other side because they have just realized that this unity is going to put this country into a path of reconciliation. They have just realized that this unity is going to bring money to the pockets of Kenyans. What they don't want, because when you want to govern people who are moneyless, who are poor, and who have nothing and jobless, you know what you do? You dangle to them a carrot. This country do not need... No,
let's finish up and then I jump.
This country do not need any carrot to be dangled. What this country needs, Jeff, it needs a legal framework that provides equitable opportunity for all of us, hustlers and any ordinary Kenyans involved. Because if you don't have a legal framework that is going to provide equitable opportunity for Jeff, Okango, and Gloria to prosper, then you shall be dangling a carrot and telling them that I have a future for you, and that future will never come. I want to encourage all young people outside there. The first thing we must do, we must stop being used as carrots. We must stop being used as people who fill rallies. We must stop being used as people who spread propaganda. We must be engaged. And the young people must get into politics and leadership, but as doing that, don't follow people blindly who are telling you that you are hungry today, but you know what, I'll give you food tomorrow. If you are hungry, you eat now. And that's why we have cooked a bigger food. That bigger food is the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 that provides for everyone.
Gloria, we have 30 seconds as we bring this on to a
close. No, I have
to
take 1 minute because first of all, I'd like to ask Kenyans a question. When the regional leaders in Mombasa came out and said they are interested in forming their party that's going to push their agenda, how many national leaders have come out to oppose that kind of proposal? Just one. it's Raila Odinga. Why? Because for a very long time, he has been able to manipulate the people in the coast region to vote for him. Remember, in the last election, Mombasa voted 78% for Raila Odinga. So at the end of the day, what he is actually afraid of is that these people have woken up, these people have realized that these national outfits that are being fronted to us are actually taking us for a ride. And so they want to front their own party where they're going to push the agenda of their people. So that's the reason why anyone who sits in studio and pushes and says, oh, it's not about regional parties, really what they're trying to say is, if Mombasa, if the coast region forms a regional party, the person who stands the chance of losing the most is actually Raila Odinga, which is the reason why he's the first one who has come out to condemn it and say that you're not allowed, it is not possible. Okay. When we are talking about young leaders coming to the forefront, yes, I do agree with the SG of Third Way Alliance, Okango. I agree that it is time for youth leaders to come out and vie for positions, but then do not be deceived that just by pushing for the agenda of the hustlers, you are actually following a movement. First of all, I keep saying that the hustler nation and even the terminology, the hustler, came from young people and it was borrowed. So you should be proud that for the first time in the history of Kenyan politics, it is young people who are actually influencing the political journey of these different, let me say, veteran politicians. It is us who have now come to the front and said that now we are not going to talk about 5, 6, 7 people or families. We are actually going to talk about the young people, the youth. So the Hustler Nation movement, if you understand it very well, and maybe you'll get another chance to push that dynamic, is really about the young people. Okay. And at the end of the day, you are free to make your position as a political leader to either join Third Way Alliance and talk about Punguza Mzigo, but on the other hand, you're supporting...
Okay, Gloria, we're out of time on this one. You'll have to wrap it up on that one. You can hear the music is telling you you've got to go. Quite a passionate discussion right there. What we'll do, we'll have Frederick Okango back, we'll have Gloria Oroba back to dissect these particular issues. We want the curtains there as far as the newspaper review is concerned. You take a short break, we get interactive after that. Don't go too far.